Orlando has evolved a lot since my last visit here, and today I'm back here to explore Island of Adventure with some new things like VelociCoaster or Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventures, and seriously I'm extremely hyped for this park, so I cannot wait to get inside, so let's go. In 2017 I visited Orlando for the last time, and since then a lot has changed. Every park in this theme park capital has invested in new rides and experiences, and after 6.5 years I'm back to explore them all. Today I'm visiting the park I'm looking forward to the most. Get ready for Universal's Islands of Adventure. So another day, another park. We're here in Island of Adventure for another great adventure. Now, Island of Adventure is the second park of the Universal Orlando Resort and is situated right next to the neighboring Universal Studios Florida, which was a park where it all started with here in 1990. And just as a neighboring park, getting to Islands of Adventure is actually pretty easy. So the park is very easily accessible by car or public transport. And there's also a big parking lot right next to CityWalk, which is the entertainment area in front of the two parks. Now, this park opened in 1999 and spans over 110 acres full of amazing rides and experiences. An entrance price to visit Islands of Adventure depends on when you visit the park, as the price is different each day depending on the forecasted crowds that day. Starting price is $119, but it can of course be more on busier days. Now, that is really a steep price tag, but just for one day at a theme park, but believe me, this park is all worth it. We entered via port of entry, but the park also has a few other themed areas. Here there's like a Marvel Superhero Island, which is on the left. There is a Jurassic Park area. There is Toon Lagoon, Seuss Landing, Skull Island, Reign of Kong, the Lost Continent, and last but not least the area that makes this park really famous, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Hogsmeade. So lots of areas to explore here. Now, our first stop here is the incredible Hulk coaster here in the Marvel Superhero Island area. Now, since Marvel has bought Disney, it feels really strange to see this here in Orlando, but it was already here before Marvel was sold, of course. And because of the agreement with Universal, they are still able to use a lot of the Marvel characters exclusively in their parks situated east of the Mississippi River. So that's why, of course, only Cosmic Rewind can be found at Disney World, as those characters from Guardians of the Galaxy actually were not included in the agreement with Universal. But enough about Disney. We're at Universal. So the Incredible Hulk, this engineering marvel here from B&M, is a really cool roller coaster with a tire-propelled launch at the start, launching you upwards, as you can see, into a thrilling ride with 7 inversions and a lot of twists and turns, as you can see. Now, the ride opened together with the park in 1999, but this is not the original one. Actually, you see here, as a complete coaster was actually demolished, replaced by an exact copy in 2015, 2016 actually. But enough facts, let's go experience the thrill of the Hulk. Okay, so what did I think of the ride? Well, just as the previous version I did back in 2013 and this new version when I rode it back in 2017, This ride still feels like such an overhyped roller coaster to me actually. It's very rough, it's not smooth at all. I banged my head a few times, which really hurt actually. But I gotta say, the first part is fine, the part which you can see here behind me with the launch. The launch is fun, as well as the first inversion there. But yeah, from the moment you go underneath this covered part here behind me, yeah, from then on it just becomes worse and worse with every turn. It's just really, I'm not a really big fan of this ride, and I don't really get why people love this ride. But anyway, we did it. So yeah. Okay, next ride. Since we're here in the Marvel area, let's do some more superhero stuff. Next up is Dr. Doom's Fearfall here in front of us, which is an SNS shut and drop tower themed to the Fantastic Four with a height of 56 meters and a launching speed of 64 kilometers per hour. Now I remember this one here being fun, but nothing too crazy. So let's try it out once again. Okay, so Dr. Doom's Fearfall is kind of a disappointing shot and drop tower actually. I actually forgot how short this ride actually is. I've done so much better ones in the past year, but there's a bit of airtime at the top, but not really that much. It's not really that spectacular, so yeah. This one here, it could be better. Now, and from this shot and drop tower, let's get ourselves to one of the most cool dark rides in the park. And I say one of the most because there are several really cool dark rides here. This one here is a very well-known one, which raised the bar actually for amazing dark rides around the world when it opened back in 1999. And to this day, it's still a very modern-looking and thrilling dark ride with the amazing mix of practical sets, the effects and 3D screens and such. Now, the entrance is at the corner right there, but it's not open at this moment because they are renovating that one. But the entrance is right there, as you can see. Now, like I said, there's a lot of practical sets, effects, and 3D screens and such. And they updated the media-based scenes actually in the ride a bit throughout the years. But overall, it's still very similar to what it was 24 years ago. But enough information. Let's ride it. Okay, and with that, we did one of the better dark rides here in Universal Orlando again. I really love this one. It's the same ride system as Transformers next door at Universal Studios. But although this one is a lot older, it's still so much better actually. The storyline is much more fun. The practical sets are great, and just the mix between the sets and the screens is just very well balanced and a lot better than Transformers. And what is also great is the movement of the ride vehicle. This ride really feels like it's just on steroids with the speed, the spinning and sudden movements making you almost fly out of your seat and such. It's really a great dark ride. So after such an amazing dark ride, it's time for an as amazing water ride actually. Now, for those who have never been to Orlando before, believe the people that already went to Orlando when they say that water rides here are really soaking wet actually. I remember both times in Orlando getting off these water rides here as if I've taken a bath or a shower, but the climate here is just perfect for it. So let's do this really nice log flume ride here. Dudley Do rides Ripsaw Falls. Alright, so Ripsaw Falls here behind me. It's still a wet log flume. I'm not that wet at the moment because I had a poncho on. But anyway, it's a really fun log flume. There was actually no wait here, which is kind of surprising here in Florida. But the weather is not that great today. But anyway, a really great log flume. And since we're doing water rides now, why not make ourselves even more wet probably on Popeye and Bluto's Bilge-Rat Barges, which is a rapid river ride, which is even more soaking wet. It's probably even the wettest rapid river I ever did so far. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, I was kind of disappointed actually. It seemed they turned off the biggest water effects during the ride, making it not really that wet. Okay, it's certainly not dry, of course, too, but if you're wearing a poncho like I did, it's all pretty okay actually today. But the last time I was here, it was a lot wetter. But yeah, it's I guess the weather today, not sure. But anyway, it's not as wet every day. And from these water rides, let's go to probably my least favorite ride here in this park, which is Skull Island Reign of Kong. I remember this ride being quite of an anticlimax when I did it back in 2017. It's a ride that's actually basically an extended version of the King Kong scene at the Universal Studios Hollywood Tram Tour, with a bit more theming and a bit more story, but nevertheless very screen-based and pretty underwhelming in my opinion. Now it looks cool from the outside, but I don't think it's worth the wait. But anyway, let's check it out. Okay, so I remember this being worse than it actually was. It's not really a great dark ride and just too much focus on screens actually. Now, the animatronic of the King Kong at the end is cool, but that is mostly the only interesting part in this ride actually. It's like Fast and the Furious at Universal Studios, but with a very different theme and very different story. But yeah, the ride system is basically mostly the same, unfortunately. But we only had to wait like 15 minutes for it, so glad we just had to wait that long, because otherwise it would not have been worth the wait at all. But yeah, King Kong, not really my kind of stuff. Now, and from Skull Island, let's get ourselves to the most anticipated area of this park for me, Jurassic Park. Now this area houses 3 rides which are interesting, but unfortunately I will not be able to ride all of them, as the first one here on our left is only accessible for younger people with their parents, which is Pteranodon Flyers, actually a suspended coaster, which is just for kids, as adults are not allowed to ride it unfortunately. It's very identical to the CityWalk suspended coasters before that company went bankrupt, but this one is actually not a CityWalk ride. It is believed, however, that the company who constructed the ride used designs provided by CityWalk to that company. It's a bit of a strange story. You can find it on Wikipedia, for example, but anyway, we're not able to ride this one. Now the next one is a ride I am allowed to ride, but unfortunately it's closed while we're here in Orlando. Jurassic Park River Adventure here. I've done this ride a few times and it's really a fun one. It's a spill water ride, and the whole, yeah, it's just a really great one with the drop, the dark ride section, the whole atmosphere above there before dropping with all the dino teaming and such. But again, it's not open, so yeah, that's a bit of a shame. So on to the last ride here in this Jurassic Park area, and probably my most anticipated ride here in the whole Orlando, which is VelociCoaster, which we can see right here. Look at this. Really amazing. Now this coaster was not here yet back in 2017, so it's all new for me too. Now VelociCoaster is an intimate multi-launch roller coaster, just like Dudley's Pantheon, Batman Go to City Escape, or Titan, for example. And it's believed to be one of the best coasters in the world at this moment by many. So you can imagine I'm extremely hyped for this ride actually. Now this ride has 2 launches, several inversions, and a big top hat here, as you can see. And it's all themed around the Jurassic World franchise actually, but I don't want to be standing here right now talking about this. I just want to ride it so badly, so let's do it! So this ride here is really such an incredible ride actually. It's so much fun. The first part is fun, especially the dive loop in my opinion, but the second part is just amazing with a very powerful and never-ending second launch, the top hat, the amazing zero-G stall, and the barrel roll towards the end. Now, I actually did it a few times now, and I gotta say, front seat is definitely the best on this ride. So normally I'm a back seat person, but on this ride, yes, a front seat for sure. Now, and from one amazing ride, let's get to the next one. And that is one which we can find here in the Harry Potter area as we're entering here the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Hogsmeade. Now look at this area here, it's pretty amazing. Now I've been here twice now and this still blows my mind actually. The level of immersion here is indescribable. Here on the right you have the Hogwarts Express. It really feels like inside of a Harry Potter movie here. It's been quite some time since I saw the movies again, but still these are iconic locations of course from the movies. Now this area here also really has put Universal on the map in Orlando, and since opening this area I feel like Universal went another route with more immersion, more storytelling, more incredible rides and such. But anyway, this area houses 4 rides and we're about to do all of them. Now first up here is of course the centerpiece of this area, which is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, a Kuka Arm ride, a dark ride actually, which is also one of the most unique dark rides I did so far. Now recently I did a similar one at Warner Bros. World in Abu Dhabi, but still I have great memories about this one, and it felt to me like Forbidden Journey is still the number one when it comes to these types of dark rides. It's a mix of dark ride, simulator, thrill. It's just a total package actually, and I cannot wait to ride it again. So let's do this! Okay, that was Forbidden Journey. Now this is really still such a good dark ride actually. The Kuka Arm ride system, it's just really good, but also transition between the screen-based scenes and the practical sets are really amazing. So it's really just very good dark ride still after being 14 years old now, but really amazing. And from this great dark ride here, let's get ourselves into something less spectacular, which is Flight of the Hippogriff here. It's a Vekoma Junior coaster here at the Wizarding World. Now this ride used to be Flying Unicorn until 2008, but after the whole reteaming of this part of the park to Harry Potter, this ride eventually opened up again in 2010 under a new name with a new team. Now the coaster itself is a standard Vekoma model actually, and can be found in many parks around the world, including Legoland Florida actually, Cedar Point, Popeye in Belgium, or Farop Summerland in Denmark for example. Or like Hagrid in the Netherlands, and even Warner Bros. Movie World at the Gold Coast in Australia. So nevertheless, it's nothing special, but since we're here, why not try it out actually? So that was Flight of the Hippogriff. It's a kiddie coaster here. Now what more can I say about this? It's fun for kids, but yeah, that's just it actually. So yeah. Okay, so that was a pretty standard Vekoma Junior coaster. Let's get some more thrill and storytelling and surprises with the next ride we're off to. And that is, the entrance is here in front of us. It's a really special one actually. It's Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Now this coaster here is also one I did not ride yet, as the last time on this location here there was still another coaster on this spot, or better said coasters, as Dragon challenged the B&M suspended coasters. Were two dueling roller coasters. Now they packed the punch for sure and were really great. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they closed down those two trail rides and replaced it with a family coaster. And the only thing that's still left of the old coasters is a station building, although that one has changed a lot also since the new coaster came, of course. But nevertheless, Dragon Challenge made way for something less thrilling, but that doesn't mean that this ride is not interesting, of course. So, what is this coaster now? Well, Hagrid is an intimate straddle coaster, much like Juwelen at Jur Summerland, Yukon Quad at Lepal, or Arctic Rescue at SeaWorld San Diego, actually. Now, only this ride is a bit more special. That is how it's not only quite unique trains with both motorbike seats and sidecar seats, but it also has some really cool surprises along the way, such as a spike, followed by a backwards section, several launches, and even a drop track along the way. And all of that with some great theming thrown into the mix too, actually. So this ride is really like a complete experience, and I cannot wait to try it out. So Hagrid is such a fun coaster ride actually. It's just like Gringotts at the other park. This one is not really very thrilling, but it's more like a complete experience with a great storyline and such. But this one is more a roller coaster than Gringotts actually. Now it features several pretty powerful launches actually, especially the last one, and then just all of the scenes during the ride are just so much fun actually, with including the drop track and such. So yeah, it's really a great coaster. Okay, now the Wizarding World of Harry Potter houses another ride also, which is actually the same as the Wizarding World Diagon Alley in the neighboring Universal Studios. And that is the Hogwarts Express, but we explored that one already in the previous video, so please check that video out for more about the Hogwarts Express and Universal Studios. Now in the meantime, we're walking here in the Lost Continent area here, which used to house Poseidon's Fury. Here in front of us, put that ride closed down earlier this year. Now this building, this used to be a special effects show. I remember this one being fun, but to be honest, I forgot a lot about it again since 2017, so not really missing it, to be honest. I guess it was not that memorable. But rumors are this area will actually be rethemed to a Nintendo-based area all about the Legends of Zelda. Personally don't know a lot about gaming and such, and about these games, as I'm not really a gamer myself, but it's interesting to hear those rumors for sure, as I feel like this area could use a wind of change actually. But anyway, let's get to Seuss Landing. Now this is actually a whole kids area here at Islands of Adventure based around the characters of the American cartoonist Dr. Seuss. Now rides which can be found here are, for example, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, which is a carousel with splashing effects and that kind of stuff. And there's also another ride we're doing next actually, and that's going to be the Cat in the Hat, which is a dark ride. I don't remember actually if I ever did this one before here, but I believe I did. But anyway, let's ride it. Okay, so the Cat in the Hat here, the dark ride, it's a very weird dark ride. It's a fun ride system. It's a very trippy storyline and sets, but it's just fun for kids. But yeah, you probably have to know a lot of the Seuss cartoons to better understand what it's all about. But it's an enjoyable ride for kids. That's for sure. Now, but the Cat in the Hat is not the only ride we're doing in this area. Well, next up is something, something strange actually. Some might say it's a coaster, some might say it's a monorail. Well, this right here is the High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train Ride. I know it's a long name, I'm not going to try to repeat that. But anyway, this is a Mac powered coaster actually, but one which goes extremely slow to make it more like a monorail kind of ride for kids. So you could argue if this is a really roller coaster, but actually it doesn't matter. Let's just enjoy the ride. Okay, so the high in the sky Seuss trolley train ride here behind us. It's such a boring coaster. Some say it's a coaster, some say it's a monorail. It's just a very, 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 very slow mech-powered coaster actually. So in my opinion, it is a coaster, but it's just very slow and very boring. It's a kids' ride, of course. So anyway, we thought we had to wait like 15 minutes or something, but in the end it turned out to be 45 minutes, which was not worth the wait at all. But anyway, we did it, but we're not going to do it again. So with that, we end our day here at Universal's Islands of Adventure here. Now, what did I think of the park? It's still such an amazing park with some world-class rides like VelociCoaster, which is really amazing, or Hagrid's, which is such an immersive experience actually, or even Spider-Man dark ride that's still is really impressive for its age, and even the food is pretty good actually. Now, we ate at the Leaky Cauldron and had a good meal for being in the theme park. So overall, Islands of Adventure might be an expensive park and there might be long lines here and there, but in my opinion, it's still worth coming all the way here to Orlando. Unlike Universal Studios, which is a fun park with some world-class rides, but it's just not worth the long wait for a lot of rides actually. But anyway, I enjoyed it here. And with that, let's end the fun here at Universal Orlando, and we're going to explore some other parks in the Orlando area here in the next few days, but those are for another video. See ya!